Hey there, this is Captain America here. Here's the late night video. This is a persuasive argument. This is very powerful. I think this is very persuasive. I think if you showed this to your family and friends, they might be more willing to believe you. The visuals aren't so great, so just kind of listen to it. Because I know I've got my face covered and that's kind of embarrassing, but I'm a professional and I don't want to ruin my professional career. So one, the U.S. government keeps things secret. This is kind of a duh. This is kind of a no-brainer. The U.S. government has top secret classified technology they keep secret to keep an edge over the enemy. So the atomic bomb was attempted to be concealed from the public because if the public knew, the Germans would know and they'd lose their edge in the arms race. So it's all about keeping an edge in the arms race, so we keep things secret. We saw in the movie Snowden, the Congress knows, the enemy knows, right? So the NSA keeps things secret. I read in the newspaper that the Navy has a fully remote controlled submarine out in their fleet. This is top secret. We don't know about the technology. All we know is this 100% remote control, unmanned marine craft. So, one, we have accepted and acknowledged the U.S. government keeps things secret. Two, the U.S. government has attempted mind control. The movie The Manchurian Candidate depicted a real scenario where the CIA used LSD and psychological torture to elicit mind control in assassins to get them to kill people. This is a true story. The CIA attempted to create assassins with mind control via torture and LSD. MK Ultra is a similar situation. I think the Manchurian Candidate branched out from MK Ultra, which is the CIA used psychological torture to elicit mind control. So two, we have now accepted the U.S. government, the U.S. military has attempted mind control. So one, the U.S. government keeps things secret. Two, the U.S. military, the U.S. government has attempted mind control. Three, is mind control possible? In hospitals every day, transcranial magnetic stimulation is used. Transcranial magnetic stimulation uses magnetic fields through the air transcranially to activate your brain cells. So your brain cells have voltage-gated ion channels, and they can be brought to an action potential, i.e. fired or turned on with a magnetic field. So you have all these ions like sodium and calcium, things like that floating around your brain. And there's a potential across the cell membrane itself. So there's lots of positive on the outside, lots of negative on the inside, or maybe vice versa. I don't exactly remember. I haven't been in school for over a decade now, and that's not knowledge I use. But you put a magnetic field across the membrane, and it changes the voltage, and it can cause the cell to fire. So transcranial magnetic stimulation targets very specific cells of your brain, and it could be any cell. It could be the visual centers, the hearing centers, the thinking centers. It could be your cerebellum and make you dizzy if they wanted to. But in transcranial magnetic stimulation, they target the cells, the brain cells, to make you your pleasure centers to feel good. And the idea is they activate them many, many times to strengthen those nerve cells, and then you end up walking around happy. So now we know we can turn on and manipulate a person's brain transcranially through the air with magnetic fields. So that's three. You can manipulate a person's brain and turn on and off your nervous cells. Okay. So, and lastly, this is four. I saw a TED Talk. TED Talk by a neuroscientist, a PhD, very smart guy, probably a Nobel laureate, because only Nobel laureates and the best and brightest of America give no TED Talks. And it was about transcranial magnetic stimulation. And they had one individual on an EEG, an electroencephalogram, something that reads your brainwaves. So reads your brainwave activity. So they showed the man hooked up to the EEG a light, and it read his brainwaves. And then via the internet, they sent that to another man who was hooked up to transcranial magnetic stimulation. And they tried to get the second man's brain to light up like the first man's brain. And what happened is the second man, when he when they lit up his brain, like the first man's brain, he saw the same light that the first man saw. So they showed the first guy a light, and the second guy saw it in another room on another continent through the internet. So this is a beautiful experiment. Because of this guy, because of these people, this kind of technology, the targeted individuals, the truth is going to come out, and people are going to start to realize that this is actually happening. So that's amazing stuff, that you can activate a person's brain. And they found, you can watch this on 60 Minutes, if you go to the internet and Google 60 Minutes and reading brains, they found that our thoughts are not unique. So my thought for a hammer, it looks just like your thought for a hammer. Like my right hand looks like your right hand. My thought for a dolphin is going to look like your thought for a dolphin. So if I can stimulate your brain to light up like the dolphin thought, you're going to think dolphin, because everybody has the same dolphin thought. So across humanity, our thoughts are all very, very similar. So if I want you to think light bulb, and I hook you up to transcranial magnetic stimulation, and I can get your brain to light up like the light bulb thought, you're going to see the light bulb. Very powerful, important stuff. So this is kind of a late night post. I'm up because my perpetrators, ever since I started making these videos, they've been hitting me with like a solar plexus pain, kind of like when you have your wind knocked out of you. It's been feeling like that, but it's been sustained. So it feels like somebody has knocked the wind out of me, that very sharp, horrible pain, and it's sustained for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, for a very long time, much longer than it happens in nature. Much, much longer than it happens in nature. Earlier, they almost made me vomit. It felt like I was going to vomit because they were subjecting me to so much pain. So this happened. There's a clear delineation marker. Before I made these videos, they were not knocking the wind out of me. And after I started making these videos, they started knocking the wind out of me. Clear cause and effect, clear correlation. If you're a TI, you'll agree with me and you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a TI, you're just going to think I'm crazy and my thinking is delusional or something sad. But if you've watched this video that I just posted, I think it's much more reasonable and possible that this is happening. So I'm still a conspiracy theorist. This science fiction, I believe, will become science fact within the next 10 years. So please share this video, get this out to your loved ones. This is very, very powerful stuff. Sometimes you just have to hold somebody's hand and walk them through the argument. It's a very simple, linear argument. One, the U.S. government keeps secrets. We know this. 2, the U.S. government has attempted mind control. 3, I forgot this. 3, if the U.S. government achieved mind control, they'd keep that a secret for us. There's no way in fucking hell they would ever let that out, because it would be the detriment of humanity if somebody like Saddam Hussein or Al Qaeda or Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il or Kim Jong-who the fuck ever found out about it and they developed it, it'd be at the detriment of humanity. So 3, if the U.S. government, the military, achieved mind control, we wouldn't know about it. 4, it's possible through transcranial magnetic stimulation, because you can literally manipulate a person's mind through the air with a magnetic field. And just so you know, radio waves, microwaves, EMF, electromagnetic fields, there's an electrical component and a magnetic component. So an EMF wave, like light or a radio wave, any of the freaking waves out there, radio waves, microwaves, gamma rays, infrared, all of those waves have 2 components: an electrical field component and a magnetic field component. So those two go hand in hand. So that's one. I am not a physicist. That is not my forte. But that is one possible suggestion and explanation. And 4, there was an experiment where one man in a room was shown a light, and with transcranial magnetic stimulation and an EEG, an electroencephalogram, they got man number 2 to see the light man number 1 saw in a different room on another continent via the internet. There's a TED Talk on that. So please Google that TED Talk. I think it's brain-to-brain communication. It's just a blurb at the end. The whole talk is not on that. You're gonna have to delve further into that research and read more about that experiment. But he was so excited about it that he had to share that. It had happened recently, but right before he gave the TED Talk. So he had just found out about it. So he was just kind of a blurb at the end. But it happened, and that's powerful stuff, and it's kind of going to help people believe us that this kind of thing is possible. So, Captain America, right now they're easing up. I'm not feeling the horrendous 9.5 out of 10 pain in my solar plexus that I was earlier. So I'm going to try to get some sleep because it's 1 o'clock and sleep is few and far between as a TI. Godspeed, be strong. We're fighting together. And eventually, if we can get somebody to investigate this, we're going to put these fucking sick bastards in prison.